Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone who rule well, and peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother Dawodah from the Men of Valor Camp here in Greenville, South Carolina, coming back with another video on sincerity and in truth. Lord willing, it could be edifying. I have this article from zerohedge.com. All right, getting into these diesel prices. All right, of course, standing upon our watch, paying attention to not only, so-called hip-hop culture, or, but also, geopolitics. All right, what's going on as far as the different war fronts. All right, tensions going on, but also, economics. All right, Apostle Tahar was actually going into, inflation and hyperinflation and whatnot, in the after camp lesson, so it is something good to touch on as far as what, this economy going down, all right, because that's going to be, one of the dominoes that's going to help bring about the downfall of America, Babylon the Great. All right, the money's going to fail. That's how they're going to be able to introduce that charagma. All right, but it's not looking too good. This is once again from zerohedge.com. It says U.S. diesel prices surge, anticipating a soft landing. And it says prices for diesel and other distillate fuel oils have surged as expectations for a soft landing and an improving economic outlook in the United States threaten to deplete already low inventories even further. Futures prices for ultra-low sulfur diesel delivered in New York Harbor in September climbed to $135 per barrel on August 9th, up from $95 on May 31st. And I have another article that's going to pretty much go into, how high diesel prices affects the economy, right? So they're saying these diesel prices are surging, and you got all the analytics here. I'll read a little bit. It says prices for diesel and other distillate fuels have been rising much faster than for crude petroleum, widening margins for refiners. So the oil refineries and whatnot, which are mainly owned by Esau Edom, they're making money. All right. So when they say the economy is doing good, or the economy is booming, that doesn't mean that, the citizens are actually doing okay. That just means that, the businesses, capitalism is doing good, big business, so to speak. Esau Edom, he's making money hand over fist. And, the price of everything has been going up. All right, that's what inflation is. You go to the store, and, like a couple years ago, things were certain items, $1, $2 on different food items. And now you go there, it's like, $2, $3. That's inflation, and like Apostle Tahar said, it's really a silent tax on the people, man. Having this money pretty much losing its value, all right, and you having to pay more for the same amount of product. Hey, even regular gas has been going up, but even if regular gas doesn't go up, the average person isn't really thinking about diesel fuel. They're not considering how diesel gas, would affect you overall, maybe even more than just the regular price of gas, right? It says diesel prices are rising as traders anticipate that shortages will quickly reemerge if the economy avoids falling into a recession later in 2023. So they're talking about shortages. Not only are they talking about the prices surging, but they're talking about shortages, which is going to drive the prices even higher because you have supply and demand. These trucks, as I'm going to get into the next article, these trucks are how you get food from your your distribution centers to your local stores, And if you're ever on the road, you'll see a lot of these, Walmart trucks, Publix, we got Publix down here in the South, Kroger, Food Lion. All right. How do you think the food gets there? See, the average person isn't necessarily thinking about that or how, it could actually be affected. to a point where there's no food, because one of the major end time prophecies is what? Famine, right? And famine is going to come about. So, you know, the spirit be on me to go into, you know, dealing with these trucks, because the trucks are like the bloodline of, you know, they're like the blood system, so to speak, of the, you know, of the country, you know, of the economy. And if blood isn't being pumped, you know, throughout, you know, then, hey, the damn body isn't going to, so I can try to choose my words wisely. The body isn't going to function properly, you know. Same thing with America. America isn't, you know, going to be that thriving country that it, you know, people know it to be. People are going to begin to feel some discomforts. So I'm not going to get into all the analytics on this. You know, all the information is there, but we got the main gist. You know, the U.S. diesel prices are beginning to surge, all right, but also it's going to threaten shortages, okay, supply and demand. So it said, this is from Forerunner Insurance Group, and a little bit of information on this. It says, when you buy an item in a store, you might not think about how that item even got there, or how that item got there, and that's mass majority of people. You know, when you go get your milk, your eggs, you know, your chicken, your beef, all right, your steaks and whatnot, it didn't just fucking manifest into on the shelves, man. People it's a lot, you know, it's a process, man. And the trucks is one of the main things. It says you might simply see it, pay for it, and exit. Well, the item was likely driven to the store in a semi-truck. And you see them all the time. If you pay attention, you see them all the time on the highway. It's how many items go from the factory to shelves inside stores. However, many Americans are starting to realize just how important truckers are to the country, right? Like I mentioned, being the bloodline. It says trucking is an important sector of the United States economy. It is how goods are transported to where they are needed. Earlier this year, the trucking industry began to see the harsh impact of high diesel fuel costs. Economists feared that the rise in costs would lead to a crisis. Recent reports show the cost of diesel fuel is starting to drop. Some are concerned with how long this downward trend will last. So this article or this information isn't new, but the article I just read in Zero Hedge about diesel prices surging, that was today or yesterday. Okay. So it basically reversed itself. It says, what causes the rise in diesel fuel costs? According to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, a rise in diesel fuel prices is determined by four factors: the cost of crude oil by refineries, refining costs and profits, distribution, marketing, and retail station costs and profits, taxes, federal, state, county, and local government. However, the price of crude oil is by far the largest factor in determining diesel fuel prices. Crude oil is a raw material used to make gasoline and diesel fuel. Since late 2021, the price of crude oil has been increasing. And crude oil, you know, that definitely deals with, you know, your local gas, you know, gas you put in your car. It says crude oil is a raw material used to make gasoline and diesel fuel. Since late 2021, the price of crude oil has been increasing. Many attribute that rise to the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. And right, because Russia is one of the largest oil-rich countries. It says this didn't just impact prices in the United States. It affected the global oil market in the form of higher diesel prices. It says higher fuel costs causes ripple effect. High diesel prices heavily impact the trucking industry, which in turn affects the country's supply chain. See, you know, the supply chain goes into how you get your goods, all your goods and whatnot, whether it be food or whether it be, you know, household products or anything, you know, cars, man, you know, there's a lot that you know, this shit affects. It says trucking companies had to figure out creative ways to make money while battling high diesel prices. Some were concerned that the higher prices would cause the industry to reach a financial point, which it could not recover from. Economists estimated that diesel prices rose over 76% in 2021. There are concerns that if the prices don't drop it low enough, it could lead some trucking companies to close their doors. And we saw that I think that trucking company called Yellow, laid off a bunch of people, if not closed business altogether. I didn't look too much into that. It says this mostly applies to new businesses and smaller companies that operate with 20 trucks or less. So that's pretty much your local. Have a little fleet. You're a contractor or whatever. I'm not sure the proper terminology, but you might have a little fleet. You might have a little business. All right, you will be affected most, and that's what Esau wants, man. All right, your Walmarts and your big distribution, big trucking companies, they'll be okay, man, because they tapped into the system. Once again, Esau has a construct that if he's trying to do away with the middle class, it's only going to be the wealthy and it's going to be the serfs, man. It says some predict that if conditions don't improve, the customers will also begin to see more of an impact. If trucking companies shut down, drivers cannot transport their loads to stores. This means that consumers will not have the items they want and need available on store shelves. And that's pretty much what I wanted to grab. All right, these people, as I'm going to get, they're going to think themselves to be in good case. All right, the scriptures say, suddenly shall the full storehouses shall suddenly appear empty, be found empty. All right, what does that allude to? Famine. All right, the average person isn't growing their own food. All right, they're going to their grocery store to, hey, we got to go to our enemy for the one of all things. But this is how Esau set it up. All right, and it's going to be a snare to these people, because when these people don't have access to food, this gluttonous ass society, man, they're going to lose their minds. So getting into it, this is 2 Ezra chapter 16, and we'll go right to the point. In verse 21, it says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. So these people think that just because, gas was, had went back down and the price of food pretty much was stagnant for a little while, that they thought they were good. But the Lord said, even then shall evils grow upon earth, meaning bad times. All right, the sword, famine, and great confusion. And famine is going to be a major factor, man, as we're going to read. It says, verse 22, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine. All right, and as I always say, there's only one cure to famine, and that's to eat. All right, but if you don't have anything to eat, man, and these people haven't experienced what it's like to not have food, because this is a first world country. All right, and these people are very entitled. Like I said, they're gluttonous, they're entitled, and they're impatient. All right, that's the spirit of Esau. And when there's a lack of food, these people are going to very much, begin raiding each other. You read 2 Ezra 15 chapter. All right, they're gonna, spoil people, their neighbors' goods for the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right, these people aren't gonna be so friendly anymore, man. These people will end up eating each other. Cannibalism is coming back. And famine is a major end-time prophecy that the Lord is going to bring upon this place, man. It says, verse 22, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine. So there's going to be many people, and that's a low, drawn-out death. That's a low, slow, drawn-out death. You don't know when you're going to perish. Like it says in the book of Lamentation, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with famine or hunger, So you better off getting, pretty much you get shot or you get stabbed up or whatever. All right, you bleed out, you die. All right, but when you perish of famine, man, your body is eating itself, deteriorating. The average person can go, it's not healthy, but you can go 30 days without food. You can only go a couple days without water. But you can go weeks without food, man. All right, and you're not going to have energy, because that's where we get our energy from. A lot of it, even though there's no energy, there's no nutrition for real in these foods that we consume. That's why the spirit has been on brothers, to pretty much wise up on that. And, but your McDonald's, your Burger King, and all your fast food joints, man, you're not getting any nutritional value out of that. All right. So it says, and the other that escaped the hunger shall the sword destroy, because you have the spirit that's on different, especially Edomites that be prepping food, and, they kind of have an idea, yeah, you might escape the hunger. You know, you might escape the famine, but the sword gonna get you, man. All right, the troops could bust down your damn shit, or the Lord could, you know, how you get put to death, and you know, you reserve that food for a man of the Lord. You know, and that's pretty much the point. I wanted to grab mainly those 2 chapters because the price of diesel going up, and they're talking about a shortage, man. All right, it affects these trucks, and these trucks, if they can't get where they need to go, the goods and services stop here, man. The goods stop, man. And when the goods stop, one of the main goods is the food. All right, you people gonna fucking starve, man. You people are gonna starve. And once again, that's prophecy being fulfilled. So our Lord Williams Zedifine, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Kakadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. To the next time, Shalom.